What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dr. Quack podcast. As you can see, I've got a good guest right here. I have the manager of champions, Eric Nelson, with us. I have Mr. Chris Nichols here from Paradice. I have the Phenom here, the champ, as you see the belt, the Stranglehold Championship Wrestling title. I want to first give my condolences. I didn't get to do it last week because filming was a little bit before it happened, but to Kamala out there, you know, it's so sad to hear when a wrestler passes away, and he had a definite, you know, impact on this business. Mm-hmm. I mean, Eric, you've met him before. Yes,
Mr. Harris and I met many years ago, around the time I first started here with the champion. He was one of my early mentors. Him and Coco Beware helped me out a lot in the Tennessee territory. Helped me get my feet wet, of course, besides you, Doc. Very sad to see him go. I know he's been sick for a long time, but this is one of the ones that hits the hardest. As I mentioned to some of you gentlemen in the past, being part of this business and working with the legends that I watched growing up on television as a young kid and getting to know them personally and becoming almost part of the family, it's hard. It's like losing a family member.
It really is.
But I'm definitely glad he's not suffering anymore, and I'm hoping Vince will do the right thing and put him in the Hall of Fame this year, because it's way overdue.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that happens. I mean, I remember back in the days when him and George Steele had that match, and it was funny watching. I watched it recently because I was looking it up, and it was just hilarious how they were coming at each other. So two savages.
One of my favorites, and of course this was towards the end of Kamala's career, was the coffin match versus The Undertaker. Definitely one of the an instant classic for all time. You could definitely tell Kamala was giving the nod. You could tell he was on his way out. But at the same time, instant classic. Yeah, besides one with George Steele, he'll also be greatly missed. You know, maybe they're having that match in the sky, man. You know.
God, I'd buy a ticket.
Oh, yeah,
I really would. But yeah, so we have our champion here, Mr. Xtreme Phenom.
Yeah.
Look at that title, folks. I'm telling you, doesn't that look beautiful?
It does.
And I'm sitting here next to the man who created it, Mr. Chris Nichols. And yeah, so Phenom, tell everybody, I'm kind of curious. So what made you get into the world of professional wrestling?
Ever since I was a little kid, just sat there watching on TV and always dreamed of one day doing what I wanted to do, doing what I love to do.
Who were you watching at that time?
I'd say probably my biggest influence was probably be Bret Hart. Of course, The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely see it. I mean, how tall are you? About what,
6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, I didn't want to short you there. I'm like, man, he's definitely a monster of a man. So yeah, who trained you?
Well, that's a question in itself. Really, the road trained me.
The road trained you?
Yeah, I met a guy on the side of the road, took me to a show that night, ran the roads, did a little bit here and there, and worked in a battle royal that night.
Wow.
Did that for about 4 months in a row. Lost contact with that guy for a couple of years. Then I hooked up with the guys in Fort Valley. Supposed to referee my first match, the first show. Ended up putting me in the match, and it's been history ever since.
Wow, they were going to make you a referee at your height. Yeah. Wow. I mean, you're bigger than most wrestlers.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Probably wouldn't have made much sense. So
I mean,
I think it worked out well the way it went.
I agree.
I definitely agree with that. Who was your first opponent?
My first opponent was actually Mike Fields, better known as Payne. No, Mike Payne.
And how did that go? Were you nervous?
He beat my ass, man.
He beat your ass.
He beat my ass all over the place. But there's been plenty of payback since then. So we're about even now. So, but yeah, he broke me in good.
That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah. So you guys had that match. Were you feeling the nerves when you were first getting into the ring?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh man,
I was more afraid of messing up than I don't know, necessarily getting hurt or whatever. But it went pretty good.
Yeah. Who was your favorite opponent?
My favorite opponent is probably Spaz.
Spaz.
Yeah.
Why?
because we were so close that it didn't matter what we did. We didn't have to hold back, and we just killed each other every time we worked.
I can attest to that. I was there for most of that.
Yeah, those were fun.
Have you ever had any major injuries in this business?
Surprisingly, no.
No,
Luckily.
that's good. Knock on some wood. Yeah, we got some wood here.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Surprisingly, no.
I mean,
Now, I did have a concussion one night, I'm pretty sure. By the time I got home, I wasn't all there. And I told my wife, I was like, I'm going to go sleep out on the porch. But she made sure she kept me up a couple hours, and everything was fine after that.
Which match was that?
Man, I couldn't even tell you, to be honest with you. I can't even remember. It may have been a triple threat match. I know the one time I did, if you want to call it injured, I was laying there waiting for an elbow from the second rope, and the next thing I know, just went black. And the back of his head hit me right there underneath my orbital bone, and I just blacked out. I remember rolling out in the ring. Jade was doing my valet at the time, and I asked her, I said, how bad is it? Because it felt like half of my face was just hanging there. And she's like,
I think I remember that.
She's like, you're bleeding. I'm like, well, I know that, but I was able to finish the match, and I think that's the night I wanted to sleep on the porch.
I could imagine. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was crazy. But other than that, man, it's been pretty good. Other than, of course, being sore, bumps and bruises, but nothing major.
Yeah. So you have children, right?
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I had 5.
You have 5 children.
Yeah.
Do you ever think any of them will be in the wrestling business? Would you want them to be?
That's a good question. Only if they want it.
If they want it.
I wouldn't want to force anything on them. And from my oldest down to my youngest, they've all went through phases where I thought, okay, this is where they're headed, but then they kind of got ideas about other things. So, I mean, you never know where life's going to take you.
Mm-hmm.
It's really true. I mean, just so many different avenues. Like, I never thought I'd be hosting a podcast, but I'm doing that now. But, yeah, so, what's next for the champ here?
Anybody who wants some can definitely come get some.
I mean, there's a lot of names.
And you know what? You know what? I'm going to say it right here, champ. World Elite, we haven't forgotten what you did. I hope you people are watching. You think that you're going to ambush my champion, ambush Von Schmidt, ambush Brody Manson? Well, we got a surprise for you. You may have put this COVID-19 business in our way, but the manager of champions is always one step ahead, World Elite. James Hall, you are, yes, by virtue of the United States champion. You say you want a shot at that title? You say that you want one more belt around your waist, James Hall? Well, let me tell you something. You name the time and the place, James Hall, and I'll make you the last man standing for the Stranglehold World Heavyweight title. But you gotta get through the King of Xtreme Phenom. So I hope you're ready, because you won't be so lucky, and your World Elite minions won't save you. Elemento, T.W. James, yeah, I'm looking at you. Takuri. Oh yeah, Takuri. Let's talk about you for a minute. So you say you want to dethrone the king of Georgia hardcore, Dangerous Danny Horn. You say you're up for that Warzone title? Well, guess what? Like James Hall, you'll go down too. You won't add another strap to a World Elite's collection. Because I've got the Warzone title and the World Heavyweight title still in proper hands, still under the tutelage of the manager of champions. If you think you got what it takes, you name the time and place. You know what? I'm a generous man. You gentlemen all know that. I'll let you decide the match. I'll let you decide the stipulations. But those flashy moves won't save you, son.
You heard it there from the manager of champions. I have one more question, and this is for anybody trying to get into the business. Do you have any advice for them?
Listen.
Yeah?
That's number one, I would say.
It seems to be a big problem in today's industry. A lot of people don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's out for themselves, and that's not what this is.
No.
It's not what this is about. Yeah, just listen.
And another thing, pay your dues. I've had too many young talents come to me and demand a title shot when they've barely been in the business since breakfast. What's that about? Now, those of you watching know I'm very selective. All the men at this table know I'm selective. I only want the best to represent my brand and carry my titles. And yes, even though World Elite, you may have gotten lucky these few times. But yes, you were also handpicked, even though you turned your treacherous backs on me. Don't worry, I got something for you. But even in all that being said, yes, I handpicked you too. So all you would-be warriors out there, pay your dues. When it's your turn, it'll be your turn. You work for me, you work for this company, you gotta show me something. You gotta show everybody here something. And if you think you're just gonna walk in here and take what's mine, you got one guy right here I know you won't get through. So y'all keep that in mind. I'm sorry, keep on going.
No, you're fine, man. I'm loving this. You know, I'd like to thank you for coming on here.
Definitely, champ. Thank you.
You know, I'm sure whenever Stranglehold Championship Wrestling gets back in line, you're going to have a lot of contenders.
Yeah, I can't wait.
You know, it's definitely going to come on here.
Well, hey everybody, Eric Nelson, Manager Champions here at the Marietta, Georgia Flashback Games. Notice right here, we have the only 8-foot-tall Gallagher machine known to man. That's one of my personal favorites. Of course, I'm not playing right now, so my character's getting killed. Well, let me walk you around. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Mr. Roger Oswald.
Alright, let me show you my face.
One of the owners here at Flashback Games. We're doing the whole retail thing here. We have NES cartridges for sale at competitive prices. We also have the N64 cartridges here for sale as well. And note a few other classic retro systems as well. And right here, all the stand-up arcade games you need. Y'all come with me. Say what's up everybody, thanks for coming in today. More perennial retro favorites. And in here folks, we have a retro lounge for all you couch potato gamers like myself. This TV is set up just like our living room back in the 80s and 90s. You have the original NES, the original Super Nintendo, the original N64, and the original Sega Genesis, all ready to go right here. You go up and see Mr. Roger. Any game you want for these systems, come in here with your favorite beverage, favorite food. Hey, you know, the possibilities are endless. You know, in here we're set up for more of got some VR here. Now this one I'm proud of. It's an electronic pinball machine. There are more than 50 pinball games loaded into this machine. It's awesome. Now of course in here, you can throw your birthday party with 20 of your close friends. Go see Roger, who'll give you competitive pricing. And of course, everybody asks me, how much does it cost here at Flashback Games? Well, for the low price of $11, you can come in and play all the games you want from open to close. And you can't beat that deal, folks. You can't beat that anywhere. We are coin free. That's right, Flashback Games is coin free.
All right, and we're back. My next guest here, Mr. Chris Nichols. I'd like to thank you for coming along as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, thank you.
You know, the man who created the Xtreme Phenoms championship there, Stranglehold Championship Wrestling. So what made you get into creating belts?
All right, so do you have time for this?
I have.
We have plenty of time.
I'm a talker.
I love
I'm
it.
gonna be honest.
You talk.
All right, so I grew up wanting a belt. I created belts out of cardboard, anything I could get my hands on, car tags. We started a backyard wrestling federation, and I was like, I just want to hold the belt. I don't care who has it. I just want to hold it up. Well, as I started getting along with it, I got older. I kept begging my dad for a replica title that was $75 in the wrestling magazines. My dad hates wrestling. If there's anything on the planet my dad hates, it's wrestling.
Gee, that sounds familiar.
So I guess I was fortunate. My father was actually my biggest supporter, wouldn't you say?
So my dad's like, I'm not going to buy you that bullshit, excuse my language.
Oh, you're good.
So eventually I got old enough where I could buy my own. And I was like, all right, cool. So by the time that happened, they weren't $75 anymore. They were $375, $400, and
Yeah,
I
they're
was like-
pricey.
I was like, all right, well, eventually I'm gonna pull the plug. A few years back, I had sold a Glock 19 and I had some money in my pocket, and I was like, all right, cool. And Facebook Marketplace just took over, and there was a guy selling a big gold, and he was in Atlanta. I was like, perfect. Met the guy, got the belt. I looked at it, I was like, this strap looks like crap. So then I found these Facebook groups that were all about wrestling belts, and they started talking about have it re-leathered. So I was like, all right, cool. So I chat with one of the guys. He goes, $350, and you give me the belt for 6 months, and then I'll have it back to you by month number 7. I was like, I just got the thing. I want to look at it, man. It took me freaking, I think, 28 years to get one. So I was like, whatever. And I was like, nah. So I went to the leather store. I bought some leather. I looked at the belt, and I made it happen. And so just, some people call it an overnight sensation, but I posted pictures of it. People started asking me to do theirs. I grew with it, owned my craft, and
I definitely agree.
How long does it take to make a belt?
it depends. I do mostly re-leathers, and I would say from start to finish about a total of 9 hours.
9 hours. How long did that one take?
That one, well, it took me 9 hours to design the plates.
It was a very special belt.
My wife was pissed too. She's like, come on, you've been down here too long, this, that, the other. So I was like, you don't understand, this is for Eric. And she goes, I don't care, it's time to go to bed. I was like, anyway, so I got the plates where I wanted them. I actually had a buddy of mine that's overseas, craft the plates. They can do it for, I'd say, 1/3 of the price that we can do here in America. So I got the belts, I got the plate design sent over to him. It took him about 3 months to complete them. He sent them back to me, and then I went to work on the leather. And they sat there for, I'd say about 2 weeks before I actually knew the design I wanted to go with for the strap. It's one of those things where I don't start something until I can see the finish of it in my head. I'm not a go with the flow type guy, I'm go with the vision type guy. And before I actually designed the plates, I sat down with Eric. He was down in my basement with me, and he was asking me, he goes, well, what do you see happening? And I was like, tell me everything you want to incorporate into the belt. And he goes, dude, I'm a veteran. And that was his first thing. I'm a veteran, it's veteran owned. So I was like, well, let's make the side plates look like dog tags.
Yeah, I love that look.
And
Yeah, it's beautiful.
he goes, that's a great idea. He goes, I was like, what else would you want? He goes, I want barbed wire. I was like, well, I don't know if I want to put it on the plates because I'm afraid it would take away from it, because you want your plates to look unique and prestigious.
Right.
But I'll definitely put it on your leather. And he's like, could you do an old sailor? I was like, we could definitely go with a skull. And he goes, we do a lot of hardcore wrestling. It's our roots. So hardcore wrestling, dog tags. So I was like, all right, dude, I'll get something, taken care of for you. I'd say about a week later, I sent him a design. He approved it, and we went from there. But overall, I'd say we have about 5 months in the making of that.
Wow. That took a long time.
And I'll tell you this, I ran a contest on Facebook, and he was one to answer the challenge. I said, whoever can come up with the most unique design for my World Heavyweight title will win a prize. You want to tell them what you got?
I got a really cool Rowdy Roddy Piper limited edition action figure that's signed. And Eric knows I'm a promo guy. I love people cutting promos. That draws you in. The wrestling part is the finish, the icing on the cake to me. The promos is what sets the bait. And being a promo guy, Rowdy Roddy Piper, one of the best ever. So sincerely, thank you so much.
Hey, well deserved, my man. You earned it.
Yeah. So here we go. Here's a question for both of you. So, if you had to make a dream match, who would you make? Let's start with you. Yeah, I'd love to start here.
Oh man.
If you had to make a dream match, anybody dead or alive?
Dream match. Probably Bret Hart on one side. And
You on the other, right?
Probably be on the other. Probably be on the other, I'd have to admit. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I know you too well.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Now, you know, I asked this question last night. I want to hear that response.
For me, Shawn Michaels and Sting, man. I think they have the potential to put one of the best shows you've ever seen on, and at the same time they do it with their own styles. And I don't think it can be matched. I sincerely don't.
Who do you think would go over?
I think Sting would go over.
Sting would go
I
over?
think Shawn Michaels will lay down for him. One of the very few people he's known to put over. He would put over Sting.
Well, who do you think will go over in your match?
I'd Brett can go over.
Brett can go over.
You'll let him have it.
Would you take the sharpshooter?
Yeah, man, I'd take anything, yeah, man.
So, yeah, what was your, is this your favorite belt you made, or do you have another one? Or?
All right, so as far as full design, absolutely, this is my absolute favorite. But I did a big gold tribute strap that I gave to a guy. He's a 2-time cancer survivor. And in the Wrestling Boiler Room on Facebook, cheap plug there, he actually promos under Fast Eddie Cap.
Oh, okay.
He's an elderly guy. He sent me a message and he goes, man, I'd love to have a belt. How much is it? You know, and he's on a fixed income, so he couldn't afford it. So I actually found one for him. I gave him a 100% custom strap. It's got his name on it. It's got his character on it. And absolutely, that's probably going to be my favorite that I've ever done besides this one. But this one, from start to finish, 100%.
Okay. Now, one more question I got to ask. You know, I ask all my guests this. What was your favorite scary movie?
Oh, man. I don't know if it classifies necessarily as a scary movie, but for some reason, The People Under the Stairs comes to my mind.
Oh, God, yeah, that was classic.
It was weird, but I liked it.
Yeah, that one there, oh, man. I mean, Fool, man, he was always running.
Yeah.
What about you?
Cinderella, man.
Cinderella, don't watch much horror movies.
No, that's a scary movie, man. The rats talk, man. I don't like rats.
That's the funniest answer I've had yet.
I like Friday the 13th, man. I grew up on it. But I think Cinderella is more scary than Friday the 13th.
All right. Well, we're going to move into our segment here. We're going to preview the 2020 Summerslam that's coming up here. A lot of matches have been announced. There's a couple that are actually, they're saying might be announced here. And that's the first two I want to get to. Otis taking on John Morrison, the big history there between Dolph Ziggler, and then you have Morrison involved in Money in the Bank. You know, who do you guys got on that?
I'll take Otis.
You'll take Otis?
Yeah, me too.
Otis?
He's grown on me. I gotta admit, he's grown on me.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I was going to say, I'm right there with you, man. Like, his storyline with Mandy Rose was unmatched. Like, that was the best thing they've had all year.
He reminds me so much of Chris Farley, I swear to God, dude. I'm like,
He does.
Is that his child or something? Did that happen somewhere? You know, I don't know. But, yeah, here we go. And the other one they're talking about, this is supposed to be happening on Friday night, but they're saying it might be a possible return match afterwards. AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy going for the Intercontinental title.
I mean, I got to give it to AJ.
Yeah.
He's the Georgia boy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Jeff. He just hadn't found his niche since he's gotten back.
Yeah, I mean, there's been rumors they're going to go back to his TNA character over there with the Leapney. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Another great one here. This is one I'm shocked they're doing. They haven't done this since, 2004, I believe. Hair versus hair match. Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose. Who's getting bald?
DeVille.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deville?
Mandy just cut her hair, I believe.
Yeah, she got a couple inches cut off.
And she's too pretty to go bald.
Yeah, agreed.
I'd be shocked. You know, it'd definitely be
Yeah, Sonya
something.
Deville's gonna get the boot camp issue cut for real.
It fits her character, though.
Yeah,
It
it
really
does.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it helps well there with it. Raw Tag Team Championship, Street Profits taking on Garza and Andrade. How do you guys feel about the Street Profits?
Not very much.
Not very much? You don't like them?
This is my take on it.
My daughter loves them.
This is my take on it. I don't care if they ever wrestle again on TV. Ever. As long as they keep doing their skits.
Yeah,
That
promos
shit's
are awesome.
entertainment.
they're 10 out of 10. You know, I mean, those guys, yeah, they'll keep you rolling.
Well, wise, yeah, but Andrade, they're getting too big of a push. You know, they really are. I mean, you can tell they're white hot. They're they're the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, is that a lot of because of Zelina Vega out there?
That's part of it, but like I said, you can tell how well that's put together and how they're rising as fast as they are.
Speaking of interesting booking, now the Raw's Women's Championship and SmackDown Women's Championship, Asuka's getting 2 title shots on one night, once against Bayley and once against Sasha Banks. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't think she wins either one.
You don't think she wins either one?
Nah, they took her allure away too soon.
Yeah, when she lost to Charlotte Flair at Mania, it kind of went downhill.
I mean, I don't know, champ. I think we might see a swerve here, and Asuka becomes a double-headed champion.
Asuka 2 belts?
I'm a huge fan of Asuka.
Yes.
Asuka, I love the look of her. I love the way she acts silly. She's not the same one that came out 2 years ago. She's a little bit more silly. I love the face paint. For me, I'm pulling for Asuka. I think Bayley and Sasha, one of them's going to lose the title, the other one's going to turn on them and say it was their fault, so that one or the other cost them the championship match.
Yeah, I'm thinking she's going to win one. I'd love to see her take it off Bayley. Sasha gets on my nerves, but Bayley's just too much. I want to see them two feud.
Yeah, that would be a good setup.
You know, I want to see one of them happen.
I'll be honest, I can't stand Sasha Banks at all. Sorry.
Oh, she's something else.
So I was a huge Sasha fan until I saw Bayley put her hair back on her. And when I saw that, I was like, you know what? She's not the same to me anymore. So I can't stand the sense.
Yeah, and here you go. Big one here. Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio's son, taking on Seth Rollins in a street fight.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I hope Dom, I love Seth Rollins, but honestly, I hope Dominic mops the floor with him. I gotta be honest here.
I would say I don't think I want to see Dominic in a ring, like not WWE yet. He shouldn't be there with Rollins at this moment. My opinion, sorry if it offends anyone, but Rollins is the best person on the entire roster as far as in-ring ability, and Dominic has zero reason to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about the same there. I mean, Dominic is
He took a hell of a cane beat on
yeah,
Monday night.
I mean, Brock Lesnar tossed him around a couple months ago, and he can take it, but I just don't. It's just not believable to me.
Yep. Here we go. Braun Strowman Fiend Universal Title. How do you feel about the Fiend character?
The Fiend, man. I mean, I don't necessarily care for that part of it. I like the original Brave, the Wyatt family character.
Yes.
I kind of like the Alexa Bliss getting thrown in there. I hope they use that correctly.
Yeah, she might be Sister Abigail.
Yeah, the
That's
Fiend,
what it's
though,
looking.
I mean, the same thing with kind of like what they did to Oscar. They just killed him too soon with who, Goldberg.
Goldberg, man. Goldberg.
God, nobody's happy with that. And he's another Georgia boy. What's up with that, man?
Well, here's my thing with Goldberg. Yes, okay, streak in WCW, love Goldberg in WCW. I mean, everybody knows that. But it's like, let a man go home with some freaking dignity. I mean, why? Seriously, why?
He should. He really should.
I mean, it's like let the Undertaker go home.
So the Goldberg thing, $13 million for his appearance. Like, that's the record for Saudi Arabia. $13 million to let Goldberg come over here and beat your champion. He damn near killed the Undertaker 6 months prior to that.
Oh God.
Again, it's like why? It's like it's not there anymore.
That's
The streak is over. Put the guy in the Hall of Fame. Let him go home. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's like, we might as well put Manny Fernandez and Tommy Rich in there for a strap in Saudi Arabia. I mean, Jesus Christ.
And the big main event here, according to the highlights book, there's a lot of good matches on this card. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the world title. I love it because you've got experience taking on the youth. I mean, young man at the top taking on the old man, and he ain't old. Trust me, he's tough. This should be a good matchup. What do you think?
I really don't have any thoughts on that one. I mean, honestly, I could care less.
You could care less. It doesn't really appeal to you.
Yeah, that one just doesn't do it for me.
But
I know they're trying to bring back the whole Legend Killer thing with Randy Orton, but
That's like why?
yeah, I mean, if they're gonna let Drew run with it, let him run with it.
Right.
You know? But
So I was on a podcast Friday night while SmackDown was going on, and the person I was talking to had said that Shawn Michaels was coming back to go against Randy Orton.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels is coming back to Raw on Monday night.
So my thoughts is they're gonna bury Shawn Michaels to Randy Orton to bring back the Legend Killer.
Just like they did Flair.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And
about everybody else.
I'm going to pull for Randy Orton. Raw needs a really good heel right now, and he's the only person for the job, in my opinion.
I'll agree.
Yeah, he knows how to definitely draw the heat. Well, I mean, there's basically the whole card here. I want to sign off here with one final thing. This is my movie of the week. If you have not seen this yet, and it's a couple years old, so I mean, some people, I was actually talking around here, you know, Terrifier. It has Art the Clown. The reason why I say watch this movie, because coming soon is Terrifier 2. They are making this, and it should be out in production early next year. Art the Clown, and this was the premise of it. They said he's more scarier than Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Leatherface combined. You know, it was a pretty gory movie. I'm interested to see that movie. I want to thank everybody for coming on. Thank you guys so much for being here.
My pleasure, Doc.
All right, and I'm out.